boss battles have become a sort of popular trend in gaming, whether they're good, bad, or just downright creepy. And it's no doubt that every gamer has at least one favorite boss fight. And on this list, I will be showing you my top 10 favorites. A few rules. Only one per franchise, only from games I've played, and no final bosses. That is for another countdown. Without further ado, let the battle begin!
Looks like Jack's going to face Kojak in this round. I love Kojak. That dude never, and I mean never, gets off his bike. I love it. Why do you love that? Okay, honestly, I could give a fuck that he never gets off his bike. In fact, I think it's stupid, but Kojak paid me to say it. Said he wants someone to promote not getting off his bike as his thing. That's funny, because he paid me to ask why you love him so much. Fucker.
I'm gonna fuck you up! Here we go!
I don't know why, but as a kid, I've been a big fan of the Wild West. So, surely enough, I enjoyed the fight against Monkey Blue. Some of the other bosses were just as fun, but this one here is the most rootiness and tootiness. Oh god, did I just say that? Monkey Blue will try and attack you with either his banana shotgun, bombs, or sending his robot cowboys at you, which isn't as threatening as I expected. All you really gotta do is hit him harder than a 20-ton rattle. Did I really just write this crap? It might look really boring now, but all of it will be worth it during the final phase. It will become a standoff with Monkey Blue wielding, and I'm not joking here, a banana minigun. I am dead serious. After all that, you then capture that pesky little vermin. What is wrong with me? This one is from a first-person game. Yeah, sure, cause those boss battles are really awesome. Alright, let's see what it is. So you arrive at this pen and... Wait, what's going on? What the hell is happening? Oh, you gotta be kidding me! The beast known as Skagzilla is, and I quote, a skag bigger than any I had ever seen. But I didn't expect it to be this oversized. Besides the typical ram and pounce attack, it can also do, well, this. I'm a fire in my leg. Sorry, I had to do that. Looking back at the whole thing, this fight was easy. But nevertheless, it was fun. I mean, where else can you fight a gigantic alien dog that can do this? I'm a fire in my leg. I am never gonna get tired of that. I would bet anything that this was your first reaction when you saw this boss. Holy freaking crap! In the words of the Autarch of Flame, I have to fight that? Yes, you do. And it is a hell of a lot of fun. This fight resembles that of a Colossus battle in Shadow of the Colossus. You climb up and hit him where it hurts. Like the battle of Skagzilla, this fight may look spectacular, but it's easy. And yet, it is still fun. Besides its grand appearance, I also enjoy leading those bullet bills into those cages. I don't know why, but it just feels so damn good! Being unexpected, grand, and fun, this is a fight I could not just leave out on this list. On a final note, Mega Leg's design was based off the design that they originally used for Ganon Ocarina of Time, but scrapped it because gamers could not see Ganon. Yeah, I can see why. Ridley has been Samus's archenemy for 25 years and has constantly returned to the Metroid games in many forms. He has been a Robot Ridley, which I will not consider as Meta Ridley, Ridley X, and Omega Ridley. But the best one by far, at least by my standards, is Meta Ridley. Unfortunately, I have not played Prime to include this Ridley. Okay, hey, calm down. I did not play Prime, but I did play Prime 3. Where do I begin with this fight? How about with the fact that you're both fighting while falling down a freaking shaft? This fight can take on 3 ways. Ridley being on the bottom, Ridley being on the top, and Ridley holding on to you. And no, that was not supposed to have a double meaning. When Ridley is away from you, his attack pattern consists of firing a beam and, from what I can assume, are spinning bombs out of his mouth. But you know as well as I do, this isn't the best aspect of the fight. The real fun begins when Ridley holds on to you at a dangerously close distance. From here, he can hit, bite, or even breathe fire in your face at point blank range. Although not as intense as the one in Prime, just goes to show you do not f with the Dragonoid pirate. Also, I gotta give points for the awesome finisher. As awesome as this fight was, it's not my favorite. Same case as the last one, can you please show my real number 6?
Travis!
Are you kidding me? Show the real clip or I'll bring out the Keyblade. Heck yeah. If it wasn't Vladimir or Alice, then you just knew it had to be Margaret Moonlight. There's just so much stated right with this fight. First off, let's start with Margaret as a character. Margaret's reason for being an assassin is so that she can kill those that deserve to be punished, thus calling herself a Reaper, or as I like to call it, a Reapress. I also love how she's dressed in a gothic Lalita fashion, which just adds to her Reaper-like nature. There's also her choice of weapons, which are dual sides that double as rifles. I'm going to repeat that. Dual sides that work as rifles as well. If that is not awesome, then you have no taste in weaponry. Because of this, it makes the fight a great challenge, as she is not only a danger up close, but also far. And if that's not threatening for you, then how about this? She's also a good sniper. But the best aspect about this fight by far is the boss music. Besides being catchy, that music talks about Margaret pretty well, and not to mention insults Travis directly. In fact, it's so good, even Travis admits it. Shame you can't find songs like this in radio nowadays. F***ing awful Bieber music. Atlas has a way of giving everything, and I mean everything in their game, unique looks. Whether they range from weird, to cool, to creepy, to what the hell is that? But I have found a boss that incorporates all of those looks. That boss is Shadow Teddy. If you didn't know from the title, this is the shadow of Teddy. Freaking Teddy! Yeah! That little fluffy bear has a shadow that looks like it just crawled out of one of Tim Burton's films. One look at this thing and you know you're in deep shit. And let me tell you, you definitely are. Besides stats and status inflicting moves, he also has attack moves like Heat Wave and Bufu attacks. Once enough health has been depleted, he will start using the Ultra Charge. Once he does this, he's open for attacks in 2 turns. But I wouldn't take advantage of this if I were you. Once he's done charging, he'll unleash the Nihil Hand, and if your party isn't guarding, well, you're gonna have one hell of a time. Like all the other bosses, Shadow Teddy takes the appearance of Teddy's hidden feelings. The holes in Shadow Teddy's mask represents the hollowness of Teddy, but I guess it also represents Teddy's depression, him trying to find out who he really is, and his fear of being alone again. And then there's the appearance of Shadow Teddy being submerged into the ground. Let's just say it foreshadows Teddy's true past. All of those traits make Shadow Teddy one of the darkest boss ever. I mean, have you heard his voice? Ah well, at least this is as freaky as he can go. Holy mother of... Okay. Gonna have a hard time getting that out of my head. But, gotta deal with it. Alright, so, who's next?
This is the airhead that blew my ass away in the Cuba games. I still have a collapsed lung from that match.
Your life ends here.
Oh boy. Von Troilen Killer is someone you do not want to mess with. He is one of those guys that is what he looks like. And by that, I mean a Darth Vader Nazi that can turn you into minced meat. I mean, the dude's got turbines for arms, for God's sake. As you can tell, he can generate tornadoes and send them your way. But this would be the least of your worries. I mean, think about it. Do you really want to be punched by this guy? I didn't think so. But going back to the Skagzilla fact, this boss may look hard, but looks can go so far. But that still doesn't change the fact that this was one fun boss, especially when you initiate the QuickTime events with him. Wow. Awesome look, awesome theme, awesome fight. One hell of an awesome boss. Oh, yeah, and before I forget.
Everybody getting his ass kicked by Jack, raise your hand. Oh wait, he can't raise his hand, can he? Air today, gone tomorrow. Fucking weak.
Man, is that awesome.
It is I, Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness.
Now I know what some of you are probably thinking. What? But this boss was frustrating as hell. Why not pick one from the second game? Well, I'll admit, this wasn't my first choice, because when I first started this fight, all I can think of was watching the same cutscene over and over and over until I wanted to punch the goddamn TV screen. But after looking back at this fight with a calm and mature mind, I realized it was actually a pretty fun, challenging fight. It's kind of the same with fighting Riku with wooden swords. Only you're using weapons that decide the fate of not one, but tons of worlds. Not to mention, Riku uses the power of darkness, while Sora somewhat uses the power of light. Despite living in harmony, these two seem to clash a lot. About the fight itself, all I can say is you'd better be prepared or you will die. A lot. Riku shows that his time fighting Sora on the island has not been wasted. He can handle the Keyblade just as well as Sora, and probably better. And thanks to Ansem's control over darkness, Riku can send out slash waves, ground waves, and what I have to admit is a pretty badass special move. Okay, you gotta admit that is kinda cool. And then there's the organ theme that plays in the background while you fight him. It reeks sinister. But what really nails this fight on this list is the cutscene that follows. Not only was this boss ominous and challenging, but it led to possibly one of the saddest Kingdom Hearts deaths ever. Before they revived him. You know guys, the thing that makes a death effective is the actual death. Stop giving us these fake outs. Okay, here we go. Boss time. One last piece and I should be done. Huh. Wait. Okay, something is seriously wrong here. Where's the big baddie? This is too easy. Huh. I guess there's not... Wait. What? Wait. Oh, come on. Fake out aside, the Grand Doomer really knows how to... Excuse me? Make a grand appearance. Not to mention an intimidating one. His looks alone make you know you're gonna have a hard time with this thing. It basically says, touch me and you lose your head. Come to think of it, some of the bosses on this list had that look too. However, unlike most of them, the Grand Doomer is no pushover. Since he's assumed to be the leader of the Sphere Doomers, he will attack in a similar fashion to them. But at the same time, he will have an arsenal of his own. These include firing his blob sphere things. What the hell are they? In all direction or rapidly, like a machine gun. He can also attack by creating 4 black holes in the background, where he will come out one of them, or sinking into the ground and creating a shadow, where he will try to eat you if you're unlucky enough to step on it. When you bring his health as close to 0, he will change forms, and this is where the real fun begins. In this state, none of your copy abilities or any sucking up enemies and spitting at him will work against it. There's only one way to beat it. That's right, the only way to beat him is to go Ultra Sword on his doomed ass. Oh god, I really said that, didn't I? You only do this 4 times, but each hit is oh so satisfying. His attacks only consist of summoning enemies to go at your way, or by jumping around much like Dracia's soul. Come to think of it, aren't these two pretty similar? When you remove his last health, he will go back to normal, and you have to hit him one more time to do something that has never, ever been seen in a Kirby game. Holy shit! Hal did everything right with this fight. It made a cool appearance, it made a fun battle, it had awesome music, and the most epic finisher ever seen in a Kirby game. I would say this list is over, but I'd be lying, because there's still one more that I think is better than the Grand Doomer. Who is it, you may ask? Well, let's recap. Number 10, the rowdiest, god damn it! Number 9. Number 8, Mega Leg. Number 7, Meta Ridley. Number 6, Margaret Moonlight. Number 5, I'm not getting any sleep tonight. Number 4, Von Twirlin Killer. Number 3, Ansem Riku. And number 2, the Grand Doomer. From the moment I started this list, I knew my number 1 was going to be from the game that I bought alongside Return to Dreamland. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. This game was mostly filled with awesome boss fights, so picking one was gonna be hard. And then I saw him, right in front of me. The best boss I have ever faced. The Demon Lord Giraham. If I could describe him in one word, it would be creepy. When you look at him for the first time, you just know something's off. I mean, his design itself is pretty weird. And when the cutscene where you encounter him for the first time progresses, someone definitely forgot to put this guy under sanity check. He becomes downright outraged and aims his anger at you. And then he... So, of course, after that thing, you get to fight him. But this isn't where the best fight is. Eventually, you'll encounter him again in the Fire Sanctuary where he'll express himself. And here, the gloves come off. Okay, well, sort of, because his gloves actually do come off, but this isn't where he shows his full potential. Going off topic, this scene, he shows his fabulous features. Eventually, Girahim captures Zelda and brings her to the past and tries to summon Demise from that time where he... Nintendo, what shit were you smoking when you're creating this guy? So after defeating hundreds of bokoblins, and I'm not over-exaggerating, those really were supposed to be 100 bokoblins, he has had enough of your constant interferences. He is mad, pissed, absolutely furious. He brings you both up on a platform and shows what he can really do as a weapon. Literally, the final duel with Girahim begins. And it is awesome! The final fight with Girahim. How can it be anything else but this fight? While the tactic of pushing him down in the first phase is pretty simple, I am distracted by Girahim's tough skin, unique design, and the music that is playing in the background. It is epic. Okay, so while it does distract me, I put full focus when second phase came around, and it does not disappoint. In this phase, his weak point is exposed, so you have to hit him while dodging and blocking his bird slicing things, or his sword. So while it is the same as the first two fight, I really didn't mind because I had fun either way. But if you're looking for something different in this fight, then wait for phase 3. He brings out a huge sword and your tactics have to change here, which is just dodging and hacking and slashing at his huge sword. But while I never got hit by the sword in this fight, I'm willing to bet anything that thing is gonna take out a lot of hearts. Overall, I think this fight was done pretty well. The character was memorable, the design was unique, the music was epic, and the battle was fantastic. And they all coped well with the atmosphere and the situation at hand. Truly fitting as my #1 boss battle. I'm the X-Blade wielder, and I believe that The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword is my favorite Zelda game of all time.
I'm so